So I've been sitting here like a total goofball trying to figure out how in the heck to formulate the right introduction to this. And I think I've got it. So let's see if this will be the final take. Hi, I'm Tasida with Destination Consensus Equus, and today I want to talk about my biggest challenge as a dressage rider, and where that journey has taken me. And my goal today is to save you about 20 years of searching and thinking. And my biggest challenge has been the longitudinal connection of the dressage horse. That's a very fancy way of saying getting a horse round, putting a horse on the bit, putting a horse in a frame, stringing the bow, aiding the horse into the first preliminary elements of collection. There's a lot of different ways to say this. And I see it being categorized into two different primary houses of theory, education, and path. The first house is where a rider is instructed to limit the horse's space. Now your horse has to live in this box. He needs to understand that these are his new parameters, and he needs to sort that out and achieve a higher degree of dressage posture. Your hand will be a fixed rein, as though you're mimicking a side rein, and your leg and whip will activate the hind leg up into the box. And the result of this, I see a lot of kick-pull riding. I mean, we're talking about this being theories and methodologies that I've had as instruction from some of the greatest household names in dressage. But I wanna give you a little bit of a different perspective on that. Imagine going to the shoe store, and you gotta get high heels for this big event, okay? Right? You gotta get fancy new shoes. And they don't have your size. They have a size smaller. And you're like, oh, but these shoes, they're so pretty. I just wanna wear them. They got little sparkles on them. But they're a size too small, so you squeeze your foot into this space, and you go, I can do this, I can pull this off, right? They're not comfortable. They're pretty, they're not comfortable. And you can't really walk elegantly in them. Can't dance in them, but they're pretty to look at. So maybe if I sit in a chair and just, show off my shoes, maybe they'll serve the purpose. Imagine having to wear that shoe that's too small all the time. Do you think that after having that experience of wearing them for that night out and going dancing in these shoes that are a size too small, do you think the next time that you go into your closet to pick out a pair of shoes, do you think that they're going to be your first choice? No. Do you think that you're going to want to wear them? Do they make you feel good? Do you think that they do good things for your body? When we confine a horse and we take who he is and we try to put him into a smaller space, it's just like putting on a pair of shoes that's too small. Now the other house that people fall into is sort of like the diametric opposition of that. It's the people who go, oh my God, like I would never, ever, ever tell my horse that I would never pull on his face. I would never communicate to him anything in that regard. I want him to assume the posture that he naturally feels that he needs in that moment. I want him to be open through his throat latch and tall and blah, 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 right? We see this a whole lot in reaction to the roll cur culture that we've seen happening in modern dressage, is that this sort of is the reaction. I see people that, say that cur brains, cur bits are the devil, and oh gosh, bits in general are the devil and you have to go to bitless. And I'm open to doing what works best for a horse. And I'm not saying that, that avoiding a curb bit is mean or stupid, or that going bitless is foolish, because I don't think that they are. I think that everything has merit in place. But to say that to a horse that you are going to create no communication as to how he should posturally conduct himself, and that somehow some sort of stars are going to align in the neurons in his brain, and he's going to magically know how to biomechanically carry himself in a manner that is posturally beneficial with you on his back, is a lie to yourself. It's not going to happen. It's like going to the store and buying flip-flops that are a size 12 and you're a size 9. No, they don't really offer any limitations as to how to move. But in order for you to be able to keep them on your feet, you got to compensate a little bit. And they're probably not that comfortable. And if you wear them long term, you're going to create compensatory musculature and compensation in your gait. So it doesn't achieve that goal. So then it's like, okay, these are the two different houses that these theories and methodologies seem to fall into. So that's the ultimate question. That was the ultimate question for me for 20 years, is how do you effectively establish longitudinal influence and posture over the horse in a manner that is clearly communicated to the horse, beneficial to you as a rider, and posturally beneficial to the horse at all times. And this is what I've come up with. So instead of putting your horse in a box, I want you to visualize him living in a home, in a house. And the first promise that I want you to make to your horse in this journey of longitudinal connection is that you will never take square footage away from him. We're never going to take a horse living in a 2,000 square foot house and go put him in a little Japanese hotel room that's 350 square feet. Not going to do it. He's always going to have 2,000 square feet to live in. Now, it may be configured very differently throughout the course of his education. So if you think about it, there's a lot of different ways that a 2,000 square foot house can be laid out, lots of different floor plans, but it's still going to be the same amount of space. And that means that our role as our horse's rider and physical therapist is that we are going to help them explore their home and make full use of the space as it changes. We get to be like their realtor, touring that house and seeing all the really cool things that are in there. So when a horse first starts out in their dressage education, let's visualize them as being the 2,000 square foot ranch. Wide open spaces and sprawling, all on one level. And as his education progresses, he then moves into like a 2,000 square foot two-story house. Same square footage, but it's occupying the space differently. So we need to show him, hey, well, check this out. Oh my gosh, there's this really cool staircase. Let's go see what's up there. And you share in the adventure and the excitement of exploring this new space that's up here. So when I'm guiding a horse longitudinally into this two-story house, I become taller through my torso as I feel my body rise up through those stairs. My hands are going to guide up and forward to encourage him to explore that space that is above him. And as he goes up the stairs, the ranch disappears into a 2-story home. And he learns how to comfortably live in that space because it's exciting and it's fun and it's not limiting. Now we can use the same concept in addressing asymmetries, or just in the overall shaping of our horse laterally. Let's say that you're on a 20-meter circle and your horse is bulging through the outside shoulder. Now, traditionally, we're taught to address that shoulder. Go ahead, block with that outside rein, support with the outside leg, say no, there is no escape route over here, right? So, using our house analogy, that would be like your horse is happily walking through a door that they think is wide open, and you come over and slam it in his face. It's kind of rude. Here's an opening, he's going through the opening, and you're just being really rude about it. But if we approach it instead of knowing that that space over there is going to go away, right? The house configuration is changing, and we say, look at this hallway. This looks exciting. Let's go down this hall. Ooh, I think that there's a new room over here. Let's go look at that. And he goes, ooh, yeah, okay, let me follow you over towards that. And while he's going down the hallway to explore that cool new room, you just quietly go and close and lock that door that he was trying to go through, right? So that if he ever comes back to that door, tries to open the door, it's locked. Guess I can't go through there. It's a lot easier for a horse to psychologically accept. It's a lot less arguing between the two of you. He doesn't lose any space. He understands where all the space went. So in every single action of how you're asking your horse to be influenced posturally, think of it being, where does he have left to go that he does not know exists? How can I show him that this space exists for him? Checking yourself. Have I taken square footage away from my horse? If you have, you need to give it back. He deserves to live in the same size house. Because when we take space away from our horse, we're asking him to be a contortionist. And this isn't Cirque du Soleil. He's a horse. And he deserves to live in a house.